This week in the field, finding that foreground element for your landscape photo. Hey everybody, I'm Scott Davenport. Welcome to In the Field. Thanks for joining me today. This is the first time you're checking out my channel. Hope you like what you see and you'll stick around and subscribe. Sorry to interrupt. This will be quick, I promise. I have some space in my Oregon workshop coming up in November of 2018. Really small group, 5 photographers plus me. We're going to spend 6 days all up and down the Oregon coast. Beautiful state, great scenery, great seascapes. If you're interested, stop the video, head over to my website and take a look, and I hope to see you in Oregon. All right, that's it. Back to the show. Now, I'm returning to the vote we did in episode 302. I showed a few photos, I had some footage, and asked you guys and gals, what do you want to see? What behind the scenes footage? And the winner was Kyoto, did that a few episodes ago, but a very close second was a shoot I did at the Yaquina Head, actually a little bit south on the beach from Yaquina Head in Oregon. And so, I wanted to share the footage because there were many people that wanted to see it. Now, as it turns out, most of the footage became unusable. So on this trip I did in Oregon, this was back in 2016, really windy. I took a couple of wave hits while I was doing some recording in other areas, a lot of sand in the air. Long story short, my microphone got trashed and it stopped working about a third of the way into my trip, and I didn't notice it until the day after I'd done this filming. And as I reviewed the footage, this was the shoot where the microphone officially died. Between the two clips that I'll share with you is when the mic died. So I'll show you the setup here of, at least the beach. And the notion here was I wanted to shoot the lighthouse out on the end of the landmass. But the lighthouse grounds are closed before sunrise. So I tried this location twice, and this was my second attempt to get out there. So let me show you the initial footage here that does have audio, and then I'll kind of do a voiceover on the second piece. I'm taking a second shot at the Yaquina Head lighthouse, which is off to the left edge of that landmass there. It's about 10 minutes before sunrise, and I'm going to pan around back to the east, and it looks like I'm going to get some nice color. Just waiting for this sky to catch up with me. I actually had little time to get to this point, and so composition-wise, I'm going to be sticking with this, using this little sandbar as a foreground interest, and really tilting upward, so to speak, so that I get mostly sky, and the land will just be a little bit more context, but this will be all about sunrise. So the lighthouse itself remained shrouded in mist and some low clouds, but the sky was gorgeous. And I spent my time finding that foreground subject so I could anchor the shot. Once I got it there, set up, didn't use filters. It was too dim for filters. That was getting in the way. So you see there, I lowered the ISO to 50. Closed down to f16 just to get that half-second softness on the sky. I didn't want the sky to be too crisp because it was really just nice and soft and pretty and really felt that way. So I wanted to convey that in the photo. And I think the tip of the week really is finding a foreground subject. This beach was very long, very deep, and there wasn't much on it except a few patterns here and there made by the waves. The ocean will come up and cover this entire area that I was walking on. At that particular time of year, it was overnight, and then it would wash away. So finding that one sandbar just to give a bit of an anchor to the shot. And it's certainly not the star of the show. The star of this photo is the sky. That was the draw. And then the landmass in the midground. Just needed something in that foreground to occupy some space. And it turned out to be, an interesting chunk of sand. So find your foreground element, whether it's, it may seem uninteresting, I guess you'd say, but in the grand scheme of things, something that'll anchor your foreground in your photo. And that does it for this week's In the Field. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, let me know somehow. Comments on the video below, questions through my website. If you got photo questions, please ask them. I'd love to hear about you. If you see a photo on my social media feeds that you would like to know more about, I might have footage for it. I tend to grab some type of behind the scenes for many of the shoots that I do. I just don't have enough time to air them all. Otherwise, I'd never leave this desk. But if there's a photo you see, it's like, wow, I'd really like to know more about that, ask me. And if anything, I can do at least maybe a roundup of a few of the photos just to share some thoughts or some tips that came out of those individual shoots as well. And until next time, my name is Scott Davenport. Happy shooting.